said earlier, obviously we didn't play the way that we wanted to, but looking at the tape, it always tells a different story. If you look at the game and I mean, the first 3.5 quarters, or first 2.5 quarters, it was nothing like we practiced, nothing like we imagined. And you look at the scoreboard and it's 26-16, one-score game. In the third quarter with 7 minutes left. And basically telling the guys, we have to eliminate our mistakes and stop beating ourselves. And if we do that, we give ourselves a chance in the fourth quarter to win a ball game. And we're going to get back at it this week. I think the attitude is still good. We see that we do have opportunities to get things done.
And Coach Buckley, and to your point there, you know, this last 24 to 48 hours, I've been dealing a lot with fans and people, you know, players and coaches who kind of like teetering or staying positive. What can you say to those people who are kind of like on the fence?
Well, I mean, we're 0-4, and we're showing signs. We haven't gotten it done. I would say just keep watching and see if we can get it done. You have every right to have your opinion. And for me, we're doing everything we can. We're trying to make adjustments. We're going to same thing this week to get it done. We're going to work hard, and we're going to try to live up to our mantra, which is smart, fast, and fearless. We haven't done that yet, but we have not lost our focus on what we're trying to accomplish.
Yeah, and to that also, you wanted to make sure the team threw it down the field at least 8 times. Do you feel as if they're kind of getting away from that, or do you want to see more of that?
Well, we're going to see more of that. Again, that's the fearless part that I keep talking about. You know, we come on here every week. We watch practice. We go through practice, and we're doing exactly what we talk about doing. And then somehow in the game, that's not happening. And so that's where my frustration comes in, is I keep saying we're not doing what we practice. So the only way we can do that is to, I said it before, from the coaches to the players, is to get people that is going to do that. And that's on both sides. And I think, again, you guys have seen and believe when I say we're making changes, and we're going to get to the point where we see that come hell or high water. Or if I got to do it myself, which I don't want to have to do all that. So we are working through that right now.
Coach, with that making changes concept in mind, what's the likelihood you see Quentin Flowers hitting the field this week?
Well, he's on the team, and we're trying to score points and win ball games. So anything is possible at this point. If he'd have been dressed out this past week, you probably would have saw him. That's how serious I am about this, getting things done. This is not easy for anybody. And I want people to think about this too, the fans. Yes, we have 2 teams in this league that are 4-0. If you look at the scores, I mean, it's really not that big a separation. We gave up too many big plays. We had too many penalties last game for that really to show. But you look at the rest of the leagues, I mean, you're talking about 2-2, 1-3, 0-4. I mean, it's going around. We just got to turn it around quickly. And that's what we're trying to do. That is our goal.
I'm glad you mentioned that, Coach, because that kind of builds on something I want to ask you here too. You're the group, the only group that's had the Roughnecks twice on the schedule.
Yes.
De facto best team from the opinion of many. Do you think playing Vegas this week gives you a good shot?
I think every week gives us a good shot. Obviously, the Houston team is probably a measuring stick right now, and for a little while we feel like we measured up. What the difference is, they're doing the little things and paying attention in a little more detail when it matters than us, and that's the emphasis this week with everybody. And I keep saying everybody. I mean the whole organization. Discipline, paying attention to detail, and produce. We don't need a lot of talking. We don't need a lot of explanation. Just go out and produce. including the head coach. Let's go produce. I'm going to do a little more coaching this week.
Coach, how do you prepare for your opponent this week? As far as percentages, will you spend more time preparing for your opponent and not so much yourself? Or do you feel like because you've struggled a little bit, 90% of the time will be focused on what you do?
That's a great question. And you try to balance that out. But I think for us, it has to be back to understanding what are we trying to do? What is the game of football is about? Pre-snap penalty, post-snap, not running the right route at the depth, getting rid of the ball, tackling. So to me, it's back to football. What is football about? And what are we trying to accomplish out here? And creating an identity, offense, defense, and special teams.
Coach, I got a pair of questions for you on your quarterbacks. First, do you have an update on DeAndre Francois' status after his head injury?
No, still waiting on that.
Okay, and second one, it was noted last week that Paxton Lynch had some flashes of greatness out there, but he was also inconsistent, and some of the diagnosis was due to his footwork not being set in the pocket properly, and that's what resulted in his errant throws. What do you need to do to get him back to basics this week to be a much more consistent quarterback?
Not just with him, but everybody. Footwork, fundamentals. If we're going to throw a certain route, set your feet. If we're going to make this open field tackle, run through the ball carrier. So I think that's just, I know he's concentrating on the quarterback footwork, but that's everybody. And we have 4 games, and we have a better understanding on what we have talent-wise, what the league is about, and what do we have to do to be competitive and get some wins.
How are you, Coach?
Good.
I know 0-4 is a rough start. I've been in that situation where after 4 games, you're in a losing season. Sometimes you turn it around, sometimes you don't. I mean, you have to kind of rally the horses quicker in order to turn it around. What are you guys doing? Because what I felt from you guys after that game was a lot of frustration everywhere, and nobody knew where to exactly turn this around. It just seemed like everybody was just, we worked harder, we got better, but it just hasn't gotten better. Why do you think that is?
Well, that's a great point. And the frustration turned into a great meeting yesterday. I called it Honest Sunday. And basically every kind of bad play, penalties, we looked at. And it showed if we do not make these mistakes, are they self-inflicted? Is it something that the other team or something Houston did? And that's something we had to ask. Which one is it? Which one is it? Now, that's between the coaches and the players. Which one is it? Is it them or is it us? And if it's us, we can fix that. If it's them, then, you're like, okay, they just flat out better, which we don't feel that's the case. Now, obviously, we got to go out and get it done on the field.
And Coach, were you surprised that they threw the ball as much as they did? Was there any or is there anything that surprised you about Houston's attack?
No, that didn't surprise me. They do a good job. They have identity of what they're trying to do, and we're trying to create that. It's actually helped us to identify what we need to do, even defensively, our identity. Once you see the flaws or the holes, you have 1 or 2 things. You can ignore it or you fix it. And for us, unfortunately, we've been fixing a lot of holes over the last 4 weeks. And I think we have the right match now, the right fit for those holes. And just tune in and check us out against the Vipers and have your own opinion. I think it's going to be pretty good.
Coach, the team seems frustrated and rather deflated, but you've got leaders on your squad, Cody Latimer, Terrence Plummer. You've got guys that are vocal. How vocal do you need them to be to lead from within, given what you said about is it them or is it us?
We need playmakers. We need guys to make plays. So for Lattimore and Plummer, keep making your plays. That speaks volumes. This Honest Sunday video, you know how you be a leader? Don't be on there. don't be on there. Right?
Yeah, Coach.
I was
And
going a little different direction. Houston executed the double pass play
Yes.
where they had the
Good
two
play.
forward passes. Is that something you see happening more throughout the entire league now moving forward?
Listen, I was lit. That, by the way, very good play. Tilt my hat to him. And my thing is, we have several. We have several. I think every team has it's, are you gonna call it? Call it, call it, call it. Tilt my hat to him. Tilt my hat to him. My thing was, they ran that, we should have came back and ran off. I mean, that's what being, that's puncher, counter puncher. Right now, we punch the first round, and then we counter punching after that. And you can't win. We're not good enough to be a counter puncher.
Coach, as we approach week 5, what's the biggest surprise that you've seen up to this point? Maybe you weren't thinking the first of the year such and such was going to happen. What has really gotten your attention?
How simple it is. How simple winning and losing is. Can you beat one-on-one? Can you win one-on-one? You know, I thought it was going to be a lot of different stuff. It's come down to one-on-one stuff. Can we get open one-on-one? Can we cover one-on-one? Can we make that one-on-one tackle? Can we block that guy one-on-one? Can we beat him? And can we hit the open receiver? Is the receiver going to catch the ball? It's back to basic football.
yeah, and one of the things that I did notice during the game was on the defensive end, it seemed like the receivers were open quite often. Can you explain the lack of, I guess, coverage on the defensive side?
Well, we had a few blown coverages. I think we might have had some guys out of position, and that's one of the things that we addressed. Pretty good pass rush. The communication was not up to par. We got a few breaks back there. We realized that. And the other thing, when we do get opportunity to make plays, we're not making the plays. So the emphasis is we divide this up, and we're going to teach again. Can we win one-on-one? Can we make our plays? The communication has to be spotless. And I think soon you will see the full potential of this team.
You know, Coach, you know, when you're in the NFL and you're having a rough start, you know, one thing everybody thinks about their job, but at least they know there's possibility of maintaining their future. These guys, they're playing for their future. You know, how do you reassure these guys that, listen, if you keep playing, that you still have this opportunity, but if we keep going down this road, it's kind of jeopardizing said future that you want?
Well, I think everybody has to be on high alert. The whole organization, you got to produce, and nothing is guaranteed for anybody. Everybody understands that, and some people take it serious and they do everything it takes. Some people don't. No different than us. I feel like from the organization standpoint, from our selections to the transactions that we made, I mean, I'm challenging not only myself, all the stuff, like making sure that we understand as we select and pick and do this is a reflection on everybody. And we cannot be sitting here 0-4. Well, we are, but that's not good.
And to that point, I know it was frustration. I'll kind of let it go as that, but are you going to take on some of the duties on the offensive end, or are you going to let Coach Ford continue to do what he's doing?
Well, I'm going to do, but everybody's going to be involved. Everybody is participating on just as a organization. Whatever needs to be fixed, holes need to be plugged. I've encouraged and would accept everything from every coach to make sure that we get this thing turned around. There's no, the egos and all that is out the window. We have to play better as a team, point blank.
Coach, on the positive side, what did you see Saturday night that you liked out of your team? Who played well in your eyes?
I saw some fight. We played well in spurts. Obviously, Cody does a great job. Plummer showed up. Smith. We had some guys that returned. People don't realize CJ came and did a great job. CJ Holmes, number 1. We signed a new corner, 27. He had been here a few days. Guys are doing a good job. The 2 tackles that we signed. So this will be our second week without making any new additions that we can get a little bit better. You know, the theme is, you know, the first game to second game, there's a lot of improvement. We feel like finally as a group, we can say that this week, last week to this week, it should be a lot of improvement with all the new guys.
Yeah, on a positive note, I looked at the schedule. It looks actually very good, meaning I think people are already looking to jump, but if you win against the Vegas Vipers, you actually have an opportunity to go ahead and run the table. What are your thoughts on the schedule and how it looks from this point going forward?
Absolutely. You know, I put that up. I challenge the team. We know where we're at. We know we still have a chance, but you got to win. You know, in this conference, in this division, I mean, obviously Houston is 4-0. You take 2 teams from that, we still in range. So we still have a lot to play for. There's nothing, not saying that we can't win 6 in a row and be in the playoffs. I could guarantee you one thing, guarantee the fans, everybody one thing. We're not going to quit. We're going to be disappointed, have a 24-hour rule for everybody. We can soak, look bad, do all that. But after that, it's time to get back to work. Because the thing is, if we was 4-0, we'll be saying the same thing. You can't live in the past. You have to move forward, live in the present, get ready for the future. We're doing that. We are doing that. And we're going to come play. One great thing about what I really liked on the tape too, we play hard. We play, we finish, we don't give up. That's a testament to these players. What I told them, playing hard without proper execution and discipline, it doesn't matter. We have to put all that together. Playing hard, executing properly, being disciplined in everything we do.
Time for a couple more, guys.
You got it. Coach, at the receiver position, you've kind of had a bit of an inconsistency thing, right? First week, Andrew Jamil was the big play maker for you. Didn't really have a great game the second week. He hasn't dressed in 2 weeks. Last week, it was Charleston Rambo's turn to make the big plays. How are you working that to get the guy? As we see Lance Lenore's come in and made an impact for you guys. But how are you trying to get the most out of that position?
You said it. I mean, we are scratching, clawing, trying to figure out what's the best combination. And again, we're 4 weeks in, and I can't keep saying we have OTA days or preseason games. We've had a few games. We have a better understanding of where we are, who can play, who can do what. What puts us at an odd position in some of those things is special teams, where you still need a core group of special teams. So if you're not making, you might be the best D lineman or one of the guys in the rotation, but if you can't help us on special teams, that puts us in a bad position. So you got guys that can play a couple of different roles for us versus you only playing one. It creates one of those situations. So we are constantly evaluating and thinking about that. And some tough decisions obviously have to be made very early.
And, you know, I did hear from, you know, I won't say who, but somebody did say that Quentin Flowers has been sensational this week. What have you been seeing in him in practice?
How do you know Quentin Flowers been sensational? He only practiced 2 days. But Quentin Flowers is doing a great job. I mean, I don't know how, like you said, you watch all the stuff, people make those assertions. But again, everybody's out here practicing hard and doing a great job. And whomever can help us get a win that's here, we're going to play him. I mean, if y'all see that, there's no holding back. Again, lack of effort, lack of trying, making changes. I would never be associated with that. We are doing everything we can, and we're gonna get it right. We're gonna turn this around now.
All right, anything else? Thank you, guys. Buck, thank you.
I'm good. Thanks.
Thank you,
Coach.
guys. Thank
Thank
you.
you,
Thanks,
Coach
Coach.
Buckley.
Good to see you smiling
Appreciate you.
again.
Yes,
All
right.
right. 24-hour rule.